Alright, and here we are on the final video of the day. This one is one of my favorite stories as well. Obviously, these are all some of my favorite older stories. I really wouldn't have chose them if they weren't, to be honest with you, so. This one is one that I know a lot of people enjoyed, and I quite liked reading it. Without talking your ear off, because again, I know you're probably tired of me at this point, the story is, Do Not Open Future Dated Emails Promising Money by JavierLoustaunau. I may have said his name wrong, and if I did, I apologize. Anyways, don't open future dated emails promising money. Enjoy. I used to work in loss prevention for a bank. Now, I'm sharing this detail because I think it is relevant, as it taught me a lot about the human psychology. In particular, I learned about the power of wishful thinking. And I do not mean that as a positive. What I mean is that we will always find ways to justify why we deserve more than we actually do. If somebody gets an extra $40 out of an ATM, it's to make up for those past overdraft fees. If somebody took their grandmother's card, it's fine because their grandmother is holding out on them. Little do they realize that their grandmother lives Social Security check to Social Security check, and paying for a new phone will likely get her heat shut off. But all of this is to say that I should have known better than to justify the good things happening to me. When I got an email that said, "Follow these instructions and you will be well compensated," I should have ignored it and deleted it. The date automatically made me think that somebody has hacked my account. It had the date 12/12/2019, and I received it on 12/01/2019. But all that aside, despite my training, my experience, my common sense, I opened it. It simply gave me a time and a place, which happened to be a bar, and some Keno numbers to place money on. I'm ashamed to say that I was intrigued. I was hooked by the absolute absurdity of it. First of all, I was unemployed and not able to go back to my old bank job, since I had gotten into the habit of just paying out cases without really documenting any evidence. I mean, it was the bank's money, and the truth was usually too depressing to look into. So yeah, I gave a lot of people $200 and $400 back without even asking questions or making them file police reports against their relatives. So, like I said, I've been unemployed, depressed, and single. My friends have been supportive, but they've also been busy at work or going out to places where I can't afford. I've been alone, stir-crazy, anxious, and broke. But I had a few bucks, and even if I instantly lost them, it would feel good to have a beer and be angry for a while at an internet prank. Angry was better than depressed. I arrived at a dive bar in the middle of the day. Nobody really there except for a couple of day-drinking regulars. I sat down, got myself a beer, filled in the numbers in my email onto a Keno ticket. I was shocked when 8 numbers matched and I was given $150 from the register. Before you know it, I'd blown $40 of that on a shitty lunch and some beer and shots. I wobbled home full and buzzed, checking my phone every few seconds, praying I would get another batch of lucky numbers as I started to sober up and settle back into my default state of anxiety. I could not help doubt that it would ever happen again. I started to doubt it even happened in the first place. I had a strong impulse to just go gamble the rest of the money in a self-destructive need to return to the status quo. Instead, I watched some self-help YouTube videos and went to bed early. The next day, I awoke to another email. Well, it was more like the original email had just been replaced. It was still my first email with my normal emails showing dates that were 10 days earlier with subjects like unemployment claim denied and thank you for your interest in our company. I did not even open the other emails. I went straight for the much more promising one with the future date. It read as follows. Thank you for taking a leap of faith and accepting our gift. You have been identified as a person who is hopeful, generous, and believes in helping others. While you might be experiencing difficult times, we would like to give you the chance to provide for yourself while providing for others. With our technology, the concept of earning money is obsolete. It is simply a matter of collecting it and sharing it. If you follow our instructions and help us spread cheer, we will make sure that you are well provided for. Here are your lucky numbers for the day. I was given the address and times for 2 other bars, and I hit 8 numbers at each of them, netting $300. This shit made no sense, but it was real and it was happening to me. The following day, I had another email, 9 days in the future, from the more depressing emails about medical appointments I couldn't attend and job offers for minimum wage temp work. The instructions were simple. It said there was an envelope in my mailbox full of money. I was not to open it under any circumstances, but instead deliver it to the provided address of somebody in need. Then, at the bottom, were 2 more lucky numbers with 2 more bars for me to visit. As instructed, I delivered the envelope without examining it and collected my earnings. It was funny, I didn't care how much money was in that envelope. I didn't feel greedy. I was genuinely grateful and wanted others to be gifted this free money too. I even gave $20 to some homeless guy on my way home. Now, over the next few days, I delivered a few more packages at very specific times and places. By then, I had netted another $1,200 in small winnings, and while I wasn't rich, I was super happy. Hell, I was ecstatic when I received the assignment to deliver a series of meals to the homeless. I handed out the wrapped sandwiches delivered to my door in a cooler, and I even made small talk, telling them I represented an anonymous charity and I hoped I could do more for their community in the future. I collected another $300 from bars that I had never been to before, had my customary half-dozen drinks, and stumbled home full of pride and beer. On 12/10/2019, I received another future email, still dated 12/12/2019 like the rest. The fact that I was approaching the future date did give me an anxious feeling. It was above a few emails from dating sites since I had regained the confidence of maybe going out on a date. The email said I had to hand deliver a package to a guy staying at a hotel, and as usual, I would find said package on my porch. It was very specific about the hand deliver part at exactly 12:04 p.m. I went downtown wearing a button-down shirt and slacks since it was a really fancy place and I didn't want to stand out too much. Also, I was going to meet a girl later on. We'd been texting back and forth all morning. While I waited in the lobby, my phone started to buzz, and I asked the receptionist to hold the package while I went outside to talk to the girl. When I picked up, my date apologized, saying that something had come up, but she wanted me to understand that she was not ghosting me, that she really did want to meet with me. She said she was excited to go out with somebody who shared her interest in charity work. Just then, I heard a loud boom and got knocked down hard, leaving me seeing stars and disoriented. My ears were in pain, but I was certainly not deaf since I could hear dozens of car alarms going off and some screams. As I turned back, I saw that there was black smoke spewing out of the lobby as though a bomb had gone off. Fuck. A bomb had gone off. A bomb that I just hand-delivered. I got a surge of fear and adrenaline and started to make my way out of there as quickly as I could. My legs were wobbly and my vision was not quite right either, as things seemed to move and shake before my eyes. In hindsight, I was suffering a mild concussion and was having a panic attack, but I would not get that clarity until later that night. I skipped the bars, no longer giving a damn about my daily lucky numbers. I just sat at home and watched the news in a state of shock. The news did not help much. They speculated if this was a terrorist attack and they pointed out that one of the victims was a lawyer turned congressman who was involved in regulating tech companies. But that was not the only bad news. There was also a story about several homeless people being found dead. And while the cause of death was unknown, they assumed it was a bad batch of heroin. But I knew better. I knew they had all been poisoned. Just then, at that point, I got another email. 12/12/2019. Severance information. We regretfully must inform you that your services will no longer be needed. We appreciate what you have done to help us in our agenda of eradicating poverty, but by failing to follow our delivery instructions, we can no longer trust you with any future tasks. Still, we are appreciative of everything you have done, and another charity worker will be delivering a severance package to you. If we are unable to locate you, we will be glad to deliver the severance package to a friend or relative of our choosing. Please, respect our privacy, and do not disclose details of your interactions as per the confidentiality paragraph you implicitly agreed to when you started making deliveries for us. We hope you remain as invested as we are in seeing our vision for a better future become reality. So there you have it. I've left the details somewhat vague, and I don't expect you to believe me. I really don't know if I should wait for the delivery or not. If I am afraid of the delivery, then I'm admitting to myself that I am a coward who would pass my fate off to a friend or a relative. No, it's taking all of my will to keep up this streak of wishful thinking. It is best to stay home and wait. Either way, I'm sure I'm going to get what I deserve. So that was once again, do not open future dated emails promising money. One of my favorite little dark web style stories, even though the dark web was not mentioned whatsoever, still feels very deep/dark webby. So I remember a lot of people enjoying the story. I loved this story, so I hope that I was able to reinstate that joy brought by the story in this retelling. All that said, friends, you will see me more tomorrow. Be ready. It's going to be a good day. I promise. But, of course, until then, much love, sleep well.